Alright, in this video, we plan to perform a database creation with CDB and PDB. CDB is container database. PDB is a pluggable database. So starting Oracle 20C, Oracle states they only support container database, So now we need to started to shift from traditional non-container database to the container database. Okay, so in this video, we're gonna use the dbca to create a container database with a pluggable database. So this is I'm logged on as Oracle user. I already have the Oracle installed, 19C installed, and in the default location. So I'm gonna enter dbca to start the installation. I'm going to deviate a little bit from the traditional way, so I will explain in the middle of the install. So this is a brand new box, so this is going to be first time, so you're going to see create a database. Here, if you go here, you're going to go typical configuration, but we are not going to do that. We're going to use advanced configuration. Go to next. So pick up general purpose, the templates, next. So in the typical Oracle world, so the database name and instance name are called SID, S-I-D. Typically, people choose to be the same. So for this demo, we're going to choose a different name. So it's going to be easy in the future to learn the Oracle it's his instance is the instance, database is a database. Okay, so I'm gonna call this global database called ORCL CDB. Okay, and the SID, so by default it's the same as database name, so we're gonna call it SID. Okay, we're also going to create a container database. So the container database, we're gonna call it ORCL PDB. Okay, so we have three things: database name, instance name, PDB name. We're also gonna introduce the database unique name, DB unique name, shortly. Okay, we're gonna use the template. So this is, if you look at the file location, where they are. Okay, this is basically the default location. And also you see here the DB unique name, it's same as the DB name. So we're going to change later because we're going to create data card in the future. So I'm going to use a DB unique name for each database on each server. It's required for the data card. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm going to specify the FRA fast recovery area. So that it's just take a default is fine. I'm going to also enable the archive log. So let's go to next. So now you have option to create a new listener. So let's just create a new listener. Let's use the default listener called this listener. Okay, so this is the default listener. So it should be good enough. The port default is 1521. Go to next. We don't need the Oracle Vault and the label security, so let's go to next. Here is the memory setting. We can take a default, okay, like 1.5 megabytes, 1.5 gigabyte total memory target. Sizing, default is fine. Okay, all those are default, so I can just go to default. We are not going to config EM. If you have OEM, you can cloud control or grid control you can use here. So I'm not going to use as well. So now the password. So we're going to use a very simple one to avoid the typing, but definitely, yeah, you're going to use a more healthy one, okay, in the real world. So the password is we're going to use called Oracle, okay. This is in the old days, it's default. It's sys Oracle System Manager, okay, and Scott Tiger. So these things many years ago. All right, let's go to next. You get a warning, so it just says fine. So now I'm gonna go to the create a database, and also you want to generate, you can learn. You see here, you always see the DB unique name, so it's important, okay? And here is what I'm going to change. So the init.r file. So this is the init.r of the init.r, the parameters in the init.r file. So what we're going to do is I'm going to modify the DB unique name. Okay, so let's go to show advanced parameters, and I'm going to go for a name, sort of the name, and drag it, scroll down. It's called a DB unique name here. All right, so I'm going to call the DB unique name CDB1. Basically, you see my server is CA1, so I'm going to use the last digits to indicate the unique name of this one. Okay. Also, I'm said it's going to include an SP file. All right, so let's close this window. And also, let's take a quick look. So let's do Control Z. Okay. So if you see the path, the default path, Oracle, and our data. There's nothing here, all right? So we're gonna create a directory by this installer, okay? Let's go to next. Let's review these things. So you will see the init initialization parameters. The audit file dest is that is in this format: Oracle base, admin, DB unique name, and so on and so forth. Okay. And also here you will see the data files. It also follows this Oracle base, Oracle data, and a DB unique name, and followed by the DBF files, the control files, and the redo files. Okay. There's only one complaint of, I think, it is when they create these things. Somewhere they create as a lowercase, somewhere created as uppercase. It's just not, consistent. Okay, but be aware. So let me go ahead to click finish. So now it is the creation is in progress. So let me minimize this window. Let's go to the terminal window. Okay. So let's look at the location again. Now you see this DB unique name, the creative directory here. Okay. And if you look at another location, let's see admin. You see they're going to use a lowercase. I wish we can keep our Oracle when Oracle creates in a consistent way, either uppercase or lowercase. Okay, so but that's fine. So we can just remember lots of locations they use lowercase. The data location they use uppercase because later when we create the standby, the data guard, so we will be noticed. So those things. Okay. All right. So let me just pause the video and we'll return when the creation. Okay, it's completed. So here's the password management. So we are using the sys system. So I'm gonna cancel this and close this the installer. All right, let's go back to the command window. So what we're going to do is let's do some basic check. Okay, so let's first do the Oracle process. So let me see typo. So you see now the Oracle process. It's this is the Oracle SID. So we know this is the Oracle instance process, and with this name. Let's take a look at the our bash profiles. This is what we define some basic stuff like Oracle SID. This is case sensitive. Okay, Oracle home, the path, and some alias. Okay, so we're gonna do a connection. Select SQL Plus as this DBA. All right, so connected. Let's show the PDB. So we should have one PDB. Show PDBs. Okay. Okay, we have ORCL PDB read only. Read write. The seed is read only. So let's see if we can do a select one from select one from two. Okay, so on and so forth. So we can connect it. So the next, we're going to config. Let's take a look at the listeners. Okay, let's go to the network admin location. Let's take a look at the listener.aura. So how this is defined. So for the listener.aura, this is the listener name. This is the default. This is where the SID listened by the listener. So you see the global name, ORCLDB, this is your database name. This is the SID, okay? So we can see listener status. So that is the listener status. This are the services. You can also do the services to see what services is running, okay? Now we're going to try to connect using the TNS, okay? That's our, look at our TNS definition. So it's TNS aura. So I defined the two entrants. Some of it's the installer defined, okay? So one entrant is this one. So The TNS name I define called CDB underscore the host name C81. And here is the host name. This is the service name. So we're going to use this to connect to the database. You can also use one as well. This is use the unique name. Okay, database unique name. All right. So let's do a connection. So we're going to let me cat this file again. So we're going to connect using this TNS string. Okay. This is not case sensitive, so we're gonna do a SQL plus sys. So our password is Oracle at this TNS string as system dbca. Cool. So we can connect. So this is going to be used for like administration purpose, also for setup RMAN, data guard, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the local definition. Let's also do a remote connection, okay? So remote connection, let me open a DOS window, okay? For remote connection, you can use SQL+. This is from my laptop. So you basically, specify the name, system. Let's see. Password is Oracle at the host name. So in this case, it's the one. Then port number 1521. This can be omitted. Okay. Database name is ORCL CDB. I think. Let's see if we can connect it. Okay. This use those free instance color in the like free format. Okay. See, we connect it. Okay. See. Let's try one more. Let's see if we can connect the PDB. PDB. Yeah, we can connect the PDB as well. Okay. So also, let's look at the TNS definition. So we also can define this TNS on the remote the same way. Okay. So we can either use this multi-line or use a single line. So I actually prefer a single line because you can save lots of space. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one, just use the single line definition. All right, so okay, so I'm going to use this one. So give it a try. Okay, let's see. SQL plus this password at. The reason I'm using a Windows because there's some very nice thing. You can repeat those commands. On the Linux, you may install a wrapper to do this. Okay, so it's more handy do things from Windows. For example, if I select something and if I mistype, I can use those kind of key and I can retrieve those commands. But on the Linux, by default, let me go to the same one, okay, to compare. On the Linux, if you do the same thing, if you mistype, and let's see, you see, you cannot make a change, and the delete key, the backspace key, the Control H, none of the key works is Control U, okay, can erase the whole line. It is not very easy to work with. Okay, if you mistype something, and also you cannot repeat. You can use up arrow down, to retrieve the command. Okay, so that is time. I will lots of time. I'm gonna use the from Windows to managing remotely a database through this way. All right, so that's for the database creation. So now we have, let's make a brief summary. So we have a Oracle instance, ORCL SID, this is our instance name. Under the instance, we have three databases. One's the CDB, it's called ORCL CDB, and also it's a PDB $seed, that is the PDB seed database, and also a ORCL PDB3 database. So next video, I'm going to use this one as a primary, and then build a standby on another box. Theoretically, you can build a standby on the same box, but it's a little bit inconvenient. So, all right, that is for today's video.